size. I like the middle strip where it shows deep blue in comparison to your typical close to shore boat. Looking at deep blue in comparison to that boat size is just mind-boggling that it's as big as it is. Welcome back to Kili's AI Paranormal Research. I'm going to spend the rest of the summer investigating some of the greatest maritime mysteries of all. Now, specifically, I want to focus on sharks because I really like sharks and I'm fascinated by sharks. So I want to know what is the largest, and I want to insert reported great white shark on record. I'm going to keep it slightly vague because I want to see if we have official measurements versus unverified measurements. I know there's a shark out there I can call Deep Blue, which is the largest one ever filmed. Well, let's see what we come up with. 20 meters. All right, now this one caught off of Prince Edward Island in 1988. It measured approximately 20 feet, 5,000 pounds. Typically, in the scientific consensus, and I like this here, they range from 15 to 18 feet. Exceptional individuals, 18 to 20. Anything beyond 20 feet is rare, and unverified, anything beyond 20 feet. There are historical records of much larger sharks, 23 to 26 feet. Many of those come from early 20th century accounts or anecdotal sightings. Lack of reliable measurement methods makes them questionable. Yeah, here's Deep Blue. One of the largest living tracked great whites is Deep Blue. Estimated length 20 feet, frequently observed near Guadalupe Island. Likely a mature female, possibly over 50 years old. It should be easy enough to tell whether or not it's a female. So essentially 20 feet is the largest well-documented size. Larger sharks may exist, but anything scientifically beyond that remains unconfirmed. If you want, I can break down how scientists estimate shark size in the wild or show you some of the most famous footage. Let's see some footage. I like this. Let's see some footage. I don't know why it's still called footage, as we are not measuring in tape. Perhaps video would have been more. Let's see. Let's take a look though. All right. Holy cow! Look at the size of this thing.
Dos maiores predadores do nosso planeta é o grande tubarão branco. Ele é digno do papel principal de muitos filmes de terror.
Scalability here.
Esse animal é assustador e muitas pessoas ficaram. É considerado o maior tubarão branco já filmado. Quando a equipe fez as primeiras imagens do gigantesco animal, eles estavam protegidos dentro de uma gaiola. Ao lado do tubarão, que tem em torno de 50 anos e mede mais de 6 metros.
That's a big shark.
A diferença entre o tamanho da mulher e do tubarão resolve atacar essa mulher seria apenas
I don't know if you want him to get much bigger than that. Although I am very interested in, I'm very interested to see what some of these other sightings look like. Let's go back up. They should have. Do they have Prince Edward Island? It's not going to give us. It's a Canadian province. It's not going to give us the picture, but let's see if there's a photo. I have to believe there is. Let's see if there's a photo of that shark caught off of Prince Edward Island in 1988. There isn't? Oh my. It was already dead, buried shortly after capture, later exhumed for a measurement and study. Very little visual documentation circulated publicly, and what may exist tends to be local newspapers, photos, hard to find, actual private images not digitized. What does exist? There are mentions of photos taken at the time, especially when the shark was brought ashore. Some remains, like vertebrae or jaws, were preserved for research and display. However, unlike modern shark encounters, this predates digital cameras, widespread internet sharing. Oh my. Okay, so they're saying there's probably a bunch that circulated, but more actually different large whites, misattributed or reused images. So it would have been the size of Deep Blue. Let's go ahead and let's see what it comes up with for the largest comparable photos. Now we know about Deep Blue. Let's see what else we have. Guadalupe. Gosh, I mean, he's a little bit in the background. The shark's in the foreground, but my goodness, that shark is horrifyingly big. What are some of the best substitutes for the Prince Edward Island shark? No widely available imagery, directly filmed for measured. Reality check on size. Seeing this footage helped clarify something important. Sharks that look movie monster huge on grainy photos are often exaggerated. When you see a verified 20-foot shark next to a human, it's massive, but within biological limits, not mythical 25 to 30 feet giants, as sometimes claimed. There are so many stories that said that earlier, before, great whites were, in fact, on the endangered species list. And, you know, there's so many reports so many years ago, 50, 60 years ago, of larger sharks. All right, let's go. Yes. Proceed. I have a feeling we're about to get, we're going to get the same footage that we got before. Cage comparison. All right, we already know that this is the biggest great white shark ever filmed. Whale carcass, giants, deep blue. These encounters show some of the largest great sharks ever filmed feeding. Massive great whites circling the whale carcasses. Divers swimming next to them without cages. Bodies appear almost submarine-like in width. There's an ongoing debate about identity, but the size class is real and verified. Haole girl, often mistaken for a deep blue, and another enormous female filmed in Hawaii, sometimes misidentified as deep blue, likely 18 to 20 feet in range. She matters because there may be more than one shark approaching its maximum size. Help confirm deep blue isn't a one-off anomaly. All right, so the upper limit is real but rare. Girth matters more than length. All right, what is the most famous unverified account of a great white shark larger than 20 feet? Let's see. Port Fairy shark in Australia in the 19th century. Reported near Port Fairy, which is a coastal town in southwest Victoria, Australia, located near the end of the Great Ocean Road. Okay, so Australia, a hot spot for great white sharks, that's for sure. Said to have been found with human remains 36 to 37 feet. Okay. Said to have been found with human remains inside. Why it became legendary. The size claim would make it nearly twice as large as the biggest scientifically accepted great whites. It is often cited in books and discussions about monster sharks. The story spread widely in early newspapers and maritime lore. And scientists are skeptical because of its frame. No preserved specimen, no skeleton jaw or verified remains, no reliable measurement method documented, likely exaggeration or misidentification, possibly a whale or basking shark. Marine biologists generally consider it not credible as a true great white. Other notable but less famous oversized claims, the Cuban shark from 1945, 21 to 24 feet, closer to plausibility but still debated. The Mediterranean giants of the 1900s claimed to be up to 25 plus feet. More poor documentation. The Port Fairy shark stands out because it's so much larger. If you want, I can reconstruct what a 36-foot great white would actually look like compared to deep blue. It gets into some interesting biological constraints that explain why sharks probably don't reach. Yeah. Yes. Please construct that image. Well, the image took a minute to generate, but there it is. Pretty well done, if I may add. The left, we see deep blue, still around today, and the unverified giant, 36 to 37 feet, approaching megalodon size. I like the middle strip where it shows deep blue in comparison to your typical close to shore boat. Looking at deep blue in comparison to that boat size is just mind-boggling that it's as big as it is. That is a horrifying sight. I think that the Port Fairy giant, is it possible that it existed? Of course it's possible. We know we haven't explored enough of the sea. We've explored more of our solar system in our immediate surrounding area than we have of our own ocean. So it could be out there somewhere. It's a big ocean to explore. Here I like where it says why a 37-foot great white is highly unlikely. Bone structure and weight. There are no bones. It's cartilage. At that size, the skeleton would need to support over 50,000 pounds. It's in the water, and sharks don't have skeletons. Oxygen and metabolism, the gills and circulatory system of great whites is not efficient enough to support a body that large. Observed maximum, all reliably measured and well-documented great whites fall well below that, about half. Likely explanation of the gigantic shark is, yeah, like it said before, a misidentification of a whale shark or a basking shark. But I don't think basking sharks get 37 feet. Or 36 to 37 feet. They're comparable to great whites, as I've always understood it.